Your destiny as a destination. Navigating your consciousness to the reality experience that you desire. Episode 3. The reality experience that you desire already exists. It exists in a parallel multiverse as a pre-programmed probability awaiting to be actualized by your consciousness. All you have to do is choose it. Now, if you've never consciously actualized a desired reality, the first step in doing so is simply to write it down. Think of the reality experience that holds the life that you desire as a tangible location in space-time. Accept its existence as a real, navigable destination. Then, think of your mind as a vessel or a ship, and think of your consciousness as a passenger or commander of said ship. When you write down the sort of life you desire to experience, you are now consciously selecting a specific multiverse that you would like your consciousness to actualize and embody out of the myriad of realities or multiverses that presently exist as probabilities. Let's use my friend Melissa from episode 2 as an example. Melissa wants to be a successful entrepreneur someday. To that I say that before her consciousness ever even embodied or took on the persona of Melissa, whatever possible career choices her persona could desire was already pre-programmed as a probability in our present simulated reality. Much in the same way that a character in the virtual reality game called The Sims, which I referenced in episode 2, has all possible career options available to a player before they even upload the game onto their computer. Let's backtrack a little. Stay with me. As you recall, in episode 2, I referenced The Sims, which is a virtual reality life simulator game created by Electronic Arts. In The Sims, you can create a persona or an avatar called a sim and use it to live and experience a virtual life. You can design a sim that looks just like you and experience whatever life choices that are available within the game. Now, say you decide to create a sim as a scientist, and then you choose to upload your consciousness into the game so that you can, in a sense, become your sim or embody the virtual persona of your in-game avatar. Say you choose an option to forget the fact that you're playing The Sims in order to make your gameplay experience feel more realistic. Now, obviously, you're not capable of uploading your consciousness into The Sims video game right now, but put yourself in the foreseeable future where such a technology exists. The Sims has become a virtual reality game wherein you are able to upload your consciousness into the game and experience the game as though you were, in fact, your sim. Now, as your scientist sim, you decide to study physics and you conclude that there are other possible variations of your present sim. Out there existing in what you would term parallel universes. To the sim that you're presently inhabiting, you would consider those, quote, other selves your multiverse selves. However, the real you, the conscious you who is aware that you are in a video game, understands that those other selves are simply gameplay options, easily accessible should you choose them. So, these career choices, these life choices, these reality experiences, or I should say these virtual reality experiences, in the case of The Sims, all came already pre-programmed into the game before you even purchased the game or designed your sim avatar. Now, let's employ that same logic to our friend Melissa. Melissa desires to become a successful entrepreneur. The reality in which her persona Melissa becomes a successful entrepreneur already exists as a probable multiverse, easily accessible should she choose to actualize it, just as in the same way that your sim has available to it all the possible career choices and life experiences your consciousness should choose to experience in the game. So, by writing down her desired life experience, this is the equivalent of choosing said reality experience. Another analogy that we could use is looking at that reality experience as a destination, a physical location that exists. Whether she has been to that location before, it doesn't matter. It exists. And then writing it down is the equivalent of keying in an address into a GPS and then navigating one's vehicle to that desired location. Most people live their lives on autopilot. What I mean by this is that rather than making conscious choices and saying that this is the life I want to experience, they allow their consciousness to drift aimlessly across a sea of infinite, probable multiverses, much like a ship without a captain at the rudder. And what I'm saying to you is, don't drift. Grab the wheel. Program your mind to navigate your consciousness to the destination that is as tangible as any physical location you're presently inhabiting. So now, you've written down your reality experience that you desire to have, with the understanding that that reality already exists. Now what, you would say? What's next? Simple. You take the steps necessary to get to that location, that destination, that reality experience. Look to see what paths others who have arrived at similar destinations have taken, and then follow their paths. If you desire to be an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, like in the case of Melissa, we live in a world where we have a myriad of options in which we can educate ourselves and learn how similar entrepreneurs who are now successful acquired and achieved their success. Download books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, seek out these entrepreneurs, have conversations with them, and find out what steps they took to acquire and achieve the goals that are similar to what you've set for yourself. Here's another example. If you want to drive from California to Arizona, even though you've never been to Arizona, you know that Arizona exists as a tangible location because other people presently live there. There are also already in existence roads that will take you there. So, to get from California to Arizona, get a map, which is essentially a physical representation of the paths in which others who have come before you have taken to get from California to Arizona, and then drive. You don't have to manifest or create the state of Arizona. It already exists. Just the mere knowledge that others have been there means that you can get there also. You don't have to manifest the reality experience in which you attain the desire that you want in life. You attain the success that you want in life. If you look around you and you see that others have also achieved success, then that means that it is possible for you as well. And I'm saying there is a version of you who has already achieved that goal, existing right now in a probable parallel multiverse. So, will getting there be easy? Will getting to this desired life experience, this probable multiverse that's presently in existence, will it be easy? Well, if we're being frank, I would say it depends. For some people, yes, it'll be very easy. Some people, not so much. You exist in a reality that by design presents different levels of difficulty according to the expectations of the player or subscriber. Some people can fly, for example, from California to Arizona. Some people have to drive. Others still may have to walk. The key, however, is that no matter how difficult or simple it may seem, it is imperative that you stay on the path until you arrive at your destination. Expect delays. Expect traffic. Expect even to have to change vehicles. But hold on to the understanding that the reality you desire is as tangible for your consciousness as any destination that exists on a map. There will come a time when, with practice, you won't have to write down your desire, destiny, or your desired reality experience. there will come a time when all you'll have to do is think of what you want. Hold on to that thought until your consciousness arrives at that location. But for now, as a starting point, write out what you want. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, write out, I am a successful entrepreneur. If you want to be a successful artist, write out, I am a successful artist. Then take the steps necessary. Follow similar paths that others have taken. Forge your own path, if you will, so long as you're heading in the right direction. But all the while, holding on to the understanding that there is a version of you existing as a probability and a multiverse that is presently experiencing the reality experience that you desire. Now you're wondering, some of you perhaps, what if, while in the process of navigating to this probable multiverse which holds the reality experience that I desire, what if I die in the process? Well, that's certainly a morbid question, no doubt. But it's a question that I know has crossed the minds of at least some of you listening. So I will respond like this. My response to that is that there is no such thing as death for your consciousness. For your consciousness, death is an illusion. No one ever really dies. I will explain on the next episode of the Dark Oracle podcast. Thank you for listening.